Hey folks, it's Jared here from Intermission Tours. If I've met you before, good to see you again. If we've never met, just a brief introduction. I've been an actor for 25 years and I've been a tour guide for about 15 in and around this amazing city that I'm so proud to live in. So we're going to do some live streams. I'm going to read some ghost stories or just short regular stories. Some will be historical, some will be beautiful to look at and maybe silent ambient tours. We'll talk about famous people. We'll talk about unsung heroes. We'll wander around amazing monuments, famous buildings, epic landmarks that we all know, and maybe some bits of London that you might not. But all together, I hope you can join me. The best way to do that is by liking this introduction video and then subscribing to my channel at Intermission Tours. Lots of love to you all and see you very, very soon. We continued on in that direction. We'd be in Piccadilly Circus and then the road Piccadilly. We'll take a little detour down Chinatown. Now, talking about places that were heavily bombed in the Second World War, the original Chinatown was. And the original Chinatown was in Limehouse in East London. And so the Chinese community decided that they needed somewhere else. And this rent in this area was one of the cheapest in London, if you can imagine that, right in the centre of the West End. During an interview years later with Francois Truffaut, the great French film director, Hitchcock said his father once sent him to a police station at the age of about 4 or 5 with a note. Now, for some reason, Alfred maybe had been naughty. The chief of police read the note, put him straight in a cell and locked the door for 10 minutes. When he let him out, he said, "This is what we do to naughty boys." This might explain the guilt, the fear of the police. Hitchcock himself never worked out why he was there, but he always had a sort of distrust of the police in a lot of the films that he made. Here's St. Martin in the Fields Church and St. Martin's Lane. So if we carried on in that direction, we'd be going up Charing Cross Road. And if we continued straight, we'd be at Charing Cross Station. Charing is an old English word for turning in the river. And in the 1200s, Eleanor of Castile passed away. And her husband, King Edward, decided to mark her funeral procession from Lincoln to London with 12 crosses. And the final cross before her coffin reached Westminster Abbey was at the turning in the river. So that's why we say Charing Cross to this very day. That very day, as a train came out of the tunnel, I noticed at a carriage window by my side what looked like a confusion of hands and heads, and something waved. I saw it just in time to signal the driver, "Stop!" He shut off, he put his brake on, but the train drifted past here 150 yards or more. I ran after it, and as I went along, I heard terrible screams and cries. A beautiful young lady had died instantaneously in one of the compartments and was brought in here and laid down on this floor between us.